what's cracking? And as I always start this off, ain't nothing new under the sun, right? So we're going to get straight to it. I want you to hear this.
AI fellow Jared Perlow joins us now with this story. Good morning, Jared. And Jared, your article this morning reveals how these ICE agents are using these tactics during their interactions, their daily interactions with both possible targets and also the people, the citizens who are observing all of this, right? What's happening out there and how is it different today, how they're using these tools?
Well, so I think it's important to realize that facial recognition itself is not new. We've had this technology for decades. Many people use it, millions of people use it every day when they open up their smartphone or when they go through TSA. But what's happening now with ICE and Border Patrol officers seems like an incredibly new phenomenon in decently scary ways, according to the people we talk to. So it seems like there's two different ways they're using it. One, they're using a new app called Mobile Fortify from the Department of Homeland Security. And this app basically allows officers on their smartphone to determine somebody's citizenship status. So we've seen this happen, or we've heard reports of this happening in Minneapolis, for example, where ICE agents will go up to an individual, they'll ask about that person's citizenship status. If they don't have papers on them or documents proving their citizenship, then they can then scan a photo of that person's face using this app, and it will run through its algorithm and determine whether that person is a citizen or not. The other way that we've seen this facial recognition technology being used is to take pictures of observers. So we've talked to people in Minnesota and in Maine who went out to observe ICE. They were at a gas station in some cases. They were looking at what the ICE agents were doing. Then the officers took pictures of them and in some cases said that their photo was going into a database potentially of domestic terrorists. So it's a pretty concerning situation.
The robocops aren't designed.
So what's that sound like to you? Now, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. History always repeats itself, right? Problem, action, or problem, reaction, solution, whatever that shit goes. But basically, sometimes things are manufactured to solicit a certain response out of the masses, especially those that don't understand how entertainment has programmed their mind to get them to do people's bidding, and how they use your intergenerational trauma to manipulate you. And then they use things like social media platforms to reinforce that indoctrination. Now, we all know, those of us who know the history of this country, we know how we got to this point. We know who did what in the past. We know that the Civil Rights Act, or the Indian Rights Act that got renamed the Civil Rights Act, within that was a immigration bill to allow individuals from third world, or what they call here minority group countries, right? Okay. So remember what happened during the pandemic with the PPP loans and how 3 years later they spun that block. Listen to what they're telling you. Listen to what they're telling you. Now, every Ring camera, they all have this new AI software with facial recognition that can literally send a text to you telling you what the Ring camera is actually seeing. So if someone comes to your door and drops off a package from Amazon and your Ring camera picks it up, it will send you a text. Delivery of package. Man walking up porch, blah, blah, blah. But pay attention to that very important bit that man said in that little short minute and 41 seconds. They're taking pictures and putting individuals' faces in a database for domestic terrorists. Now, remember what I said about 2 videos back about there are about 2 ways to lose birthright citizenship. They already because of what's been going on. So when you see the same liberals who have been manipulating us and using us since the civil rights era, just like Lyndon Baines Johnson said, how these Negroes voting Democrat for the next 200 years and they won't know why. Why? Because everything that's always promised to us is never fucking delivered, but it's always, nigga, get out there and fight. Get out there and fight. Where are we? We're minding our business because we know the play. We have been dealing with this version of the colonial master for the last 400 years. We know how they play. Y'all new to this. We tried to warn you. Y'all don't want to listen. You want to say we're xenophobic. You want to say we're racist. That we're pushing white nationalist tropes. When y'all are the ones that came to our house as guests and have been violating us since you got here. And all we've been asking is for us to stop. And we tried to save you from yourselves, but you're letting them manipulate your emotions and your intergenerational trauma. So I've said this, I don't know how many times, I'm going to say it again. To my people, if you're from the soil, you stay loyal to that soil because ain't nowhere you can go. 1, 2, this ain't your motherfucking fight. And 3, you see what they're doing. You see what they're doing. And they're going to spin the block. Except this time, the stakes are going to be higher. You don't have to worry about a few years Fed time or financial restitution. You're going to have to worry about finding a new nation. So, yeah, I'm going to slide out of here. I'm going to leave a few videos to follow this up. Just to explain to you and show you and reinforce the things that y'all have said since 1968. And before I leave, I do want to say one thing, because I notice when I do try to talk to my people to try to get them to understand, there's a few things I always hear. When I say, y'all say we have no culture, you say this, that, X, Y, and Z. Oh, I know, but there's no but in that. None of this is ever going to stop or move forward until accountability comes. And when you can't hold yourself accountable for your actions or say that you're going to stop doing things that you know are wrong and that we should just accept it, what makes you any different than the colonial master? You're just a neo-colonialist. And let's be honest, 20 million motherfuckers just came in here scot fucking free. We have to pay for that. How many of y'all out there as naturalized citizens, especially in the tri-state area in New York City, are having problems finding apartments? What happened to all those luxury buildings they were storing up in Harlem? Oh, I know, they all became migrant shelters and we have to pay for it out of our tax dollars because they're getting to live for free. But yeah, it's way bigger than what y'all think. And they giving you the rope and y'all just... So y'all keep on playing. But I'm telling you, fuck around and find out season is going to bend the next corner. And they're telling you, they're saying the quiet part out loud. They are tracking everyone that's out there. Now remember, under law, the government repeatedly said, we're removing anyone that has no legal standing in the United States of America, which means if you're out there protesting or throwing your body in between law enforcement and an illegal alien, is that not obstruction of justice? You hiding people in your house, is that not aiding and abetting? And depending on how many times they cross that border, they might be a felon at this point. I don't know what else to tell y'all to make this shit ding-a-ding ring, but it's a psyop. And y'all keep attacking Black Americans if you want, but just remember, at the end of the day, whether you like us or not, or whether you think they see us as second-class citizens, before we're anything, we're Americans. And when you come here as a guest in our house and you violate the host, at some point, somebody gonna put boot to ass. And this is what's happening right now. To my people, stay out them fucking streets and mind your business. Because when they circle the block, it ain't gonna be no parades and protests like it is now. There's gonna be nobody watching because they're gonna do it the dark of the night and quiet. And we got a warrant. And ain't nobody gonna see your ass again. You'll either be in El Salvador or Guantanamo, Gitmo. I don't know. But you're not gonna be here. So let me get out of here. Remember, realize. Transparency forces accountability. You know, keep your eyes to the stars. Keep that head on a swivel. Remember, it's a dirty fucking game out here. And don't let these people trick you out your spot or gaslight you into thinking that you owe them anything. Our parents and grandparents' generation did their job. They created a bridge for them to walk across to have a better life. And since they've gotten here, it's been Akata and Jarir and Moyo and Mayete and Mejora la Raza. So it's time for y'all to do what we did, because we didn't have anywhere to run when we were going through apartheid. We had to get it up out the mud and stay where we was at. And then we made a place for y'all to come. And it's been a slap in the face ever since. Ain't no hard feelings, but this is not our fight. And I've been telling y'all, if you are first, second, third generation, and you're out there fighting for the 20 million plus illegals that came in through the last administration, don't be surprised in 3-4 years, or you online talking shit about fuck America and all this. Don't be surprised in 3 to 4 years when you get a knock on the door. Hola, senor. It's time to go, my friend. Y'all be safe out there because it's a dangerous game. Hey, I digress.
Did you want us to come and kiss fire hoses again for you? Maybe come and bear hug all the bullets coming your way? You're tired of seeing nice white folks shot in the street like cattle. Nice white folk don't belong on display. That's nigga behavior, right? You're only comfortable watching our humanity leak out on a pavement while you appropriate say her name with a white woman's. Renee's blood shouldn't have been spilled, nor Alex Pretty. Let's not pretend that their names would have been forgotten after they were buried. What would you have us do if we come? Are our women supposed to embrace your masculine comparisons? Show up armed to the teeth to defend every white person at home dragging their feet? Give ICE a black body to meme for your enjoyment on this sick internet. You still bury Keith's name beneath Renee and Alex's caskets, as if his blood was righteously spilled. You may not know where your loyalty lies, but we do. The next time you ask black people of anything, you better bring us an offering. The ashes of the Whitney plantation, the water Sonia never got to boil, Martin's favorite soup, George's last breath. Acknowledge Kamala and Michelle's golden tongues. Bring the fresh blood of every white man that voted for Donald Trump. Bring the fresh blood of every white woman that told him he could grab her by the pussy. Every white person that calls Renee and Alex a tragedy but calls Keith a nothing. Bring us the casket of Miles Cosgrove and Brett Hankerson and the charred bones of Aaron Stroutman. Return Chloe's ears to her. Our blood is no longer free. Despite what your government would have you believe, our blood is as sacred and righteous as freshly fallen leaves. Not meant to be a headline for your movement. You want a black carcass to hold over your head while you celebrate a victory you ain't bleed for. Screaming liberation from the safety of your sectionals. You go get bloody. Eat the ice if you have to. There are cannibals in your ranks. Burn the government down that has betrayed you. Choke the powers that be until they are the powers that are no longer. But don't you ask black people for another fucking thing. We have sacrificed before in the name of your cause. And our ancestors have spoken for us all. The ones that did not survive.
Let me tell you why you don't see black Americans out here with these protesters. Oh, you may see some Somalians. You may see some Jamaicans, some Haitians, etc. First generation, maybe even second generation people out there. But you're not going to see the founding black Americans who have been here since this country began. We can trace our lineage back. Our mothers were born here, their mothers were born here, and their mothers' mothers were born here, and therefore we are Americans. We are not going to be out there in the street cheering for everybody else to get dropped like bombs in our neighborhoods, because that's what the Democrats did to us. They took a whole bunch of black and brown looking people and they dropped them in our neighborhoods and thought we wasn't going to notice it. Well, y'all all look the same. That's how racist the Democrats are. They thought we wasn't going to notice Somalians in our neighborhoods. Y'all think we the same? They don't even speak to us. They call us slaves. They disdain us. They don't even want to be around us. But y'all Democrats with y'all's racist behinds thought we wasn't going to notice it. And so now you notice we ain't out there with y'all. Oh, y'all fighting hard to keep y'all's new slaves, ain't y'all Dixiecrats? Yeah, we not y'all slaves no more. And when y'all's new pets are all gone, don't come crawling back. Don't come acting like, oh, we care about the American Negro. You do not. Y'all don't care about us. We got pushed out of our neighborhoods. We got pushed out of jobs. And y'all sat back and cheered for that. Y'all out here fighting in the streets to keep that. To keep us in struggle while y'all's newcomers get, just the red carpet rolled out to them because y'all need somebody to pick y'all's cotton. We see y'all.
This is literally why a lot of Black people do not say a word during this time. All this while that most of these immigrants are getting deported, this is the reason, especially when it has to do with Somalis, because a lot of them just run their mouth like tap water on the internet without even caring. They don't even care who gets to see it or anything. So
only Americans who's concerned with the Somali business is the ones who have no life. They have a lot of time in their hand. They broke. They don't have no money, no ambition, nothing. They don't even have hobbies. They depressed. They lonely. You know, it's always those type of people who care about situations like this. You know, people who have something going on for their life, right? They're busy in their career, their family. They taking vacation. They're enjoying their life. You know, they're not concerned with the Somalians in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Only people you will see who's worrying about this is not even racist. They just broke. They just don't have anything going on. They're broken spiritually, physically, and financially. That's what it is.
how on earth do you expect them to come and, collaborate with you or have this kind of truth with you guys when you have literally said it over and over? You have nothing to do with them. Your action speaks louder than voices. And I love how Black folks have chosen themselves in this era. And they're like, we are choosing ourselves, investing in our own community and all that. Well, I'm going to let the rest of the videos roll. Then we'll come back with more commentary. Do let me know what you all think in the comment section. Credit belongs to original creators of these videos. Let's go watch.
Is this really where we're at, America? Take a look at this and I'll be right back. Yeah, he's Somalian, and he said he and his brotherhood are going to take over Minneapolis. Minnesota, probably next. And then the USA, America. Then they'll take over America. Well, okay, so good for him if he thinks he wants to try. But I'm telling you right now, we have so many patriots to this country, especially like in our Midwest, in our southern states, that are either, war veterans or they're active military personnel or they're police officers, and they have their Second Amendment rights, and they're just itching. They're just itching to go back and teach some of the things that they learned at war, or to show you like how much experience they have with, their Second Amendment rights. So I would be careful what you wish for, because we got a lot of patriots in this country that will never allow that to happen.
In light of the recent events in Minnesota and the hate, xenophobia, and of course Islamophobia Somali people are facing globally, particularly in the West, I would like to address a few points that I've noticed that I believe need to be addressed once again. The first point that I'd like to address is the saying of Somali people.
I have a bone to pick with African Americans, and I know I chose the wrong day, but I really don't care. And this is just me stating my opinion. This is no hate to anybody, and if you feel offended by my opinion, then I quite frankly, again, don't care. Y'all are the minority of a country that you didn't even choose to come to, and have made a culture that was forced upon you on somebody else's land that does not belong to you, but you still have the audacity to say anything about any immigrant Africans that are coming to America, that live in America. My family came here by choice. There was nobody that forced them on a boat to come over. You guys didn't have a choice. You didn't. So why are you shitting on people that have something that you don't have? And I really do try to sympathize with you guys. I really do, because it is really, really sad. But why do y'all force the oppression that was forced onto you? You guys force that same oppression on the Africans that have a home to go back to. If I told you to go back to where you came from, where you gonna go? 23andme.com. Even then, you still can't go back. Like, if I asked an African American where they were from and they told me Atlanta, okay, that's kind of founded by a white man. But I mean, shit, that's your culture, I guess. And since y'all shit on Africans so bad, then go ahead and take that African out from in front of American and just be American. Because if you want to take 300 years of history over 2 billion years of history, then so be it. I have no problem with that. But don't choose to be African American when it's beneficial to you. Because the switch up, I'm not fucking with it. Another thing is how y'all talk about, oh, how poor Africa is. Africa ain't got shit. Y'all poor in America too. They set up systems directly, strictly for y'all. When people think of Section 8 poverty, the people they advertise are straight African Americans. Americans, my bad. Because there's no way you sit here and hate on a place that you came from. Where do you think the Africa in American comes from? Like, but if you think you just grew straight up out of Atlanta, so be it. Whoop-de-doo. Congratulations to you, because I quite frankly don't give a damn. Again, this is no hate, just my opinion, but love y'all. Happy Black History Month.
Most of the people that we meet, especially African Americans, they don't even know their fathers. They don't even know their fathers. It was all of them, most of them were the product of one night stand. One night stand. They will tell you, I don't know my father. Well, who named you? Whose name are you carrying? Well, my mother chose his name for me. You know, I don't know. Is that what we want for our ummah? No. كلهم أو معظمهم أبناء الزنا. أبناء الزنا. Why? Because man, he has to give up the seed. And because the marriage will limit them, they will go from one to another to a third.
On this Black History Month, we're highlighting foundational Black Americans whose ingenuity, innovations, and labor play a critical role in American culture and infrastructure. And our next guest is working to ensure that foundational Black Americans' contributions are known. Author and creator of Foundational Black American Legacy, Teresa Allman. She joins me now. Teresa, hey, thank you so much for your time. But I was curious, what inspired you to make videos spotlighting foundational Black Americans?
Alex, this goes back a few years ago when I was in kindergarten, and it was my first Columbus Day in school, and I was very excited. I sat there and I was allowed to share something. And what I told the class was that my father said that Columbus did not discover America because people were already here. And I don't remember what happened. That was quite a while ago. But I do remember feeling that his story may not be accurate or truthful.
In this research process, what's been, one of the inventions that's stuck out to you the most?
I like to think about Miriam Croak. It is because of her ingenuity that you and I are able to use Zoom technology to put voice over internet protocol. She's still alive. And Skype and FaceTime, when we're able to pay and transfer money over our cell phones, it's because of her. And wow. I didn't know that until I looked into it. So, that's very powerful. We take that for granted nowadays.
100%. And you just taught me something too. I've got a research project after this segment. But listen, Teresa, because I think this work is really important. So, how can we learn more about other foundational Black Americans?
Well, one thing you can do is buy my book, but then there are other things you can do, such as research. There are books available in the library. Fortunately, there's the internet. You can just look into who invented this. What I enjoy about my publishing company is that people are doing their own research, and that's what I want to see, is people actually researching and learning for themselves.
Speaking on behalf of Black people, it's like, shut up, honey. You've got nothing to do with this. Right. That's literally a fair perspective, right? I think.
African Americans have finally decided, find somebody else to do it. That's why they're not protesting. They are not going to be anyone's pawn in these political games anymore, in this political theater, the political theatrics. They're not going to be bothered.
Very interesting term that the foundational Black Americans use. It's called tether. they're tethering these tethers like Nicki Minaj. They come here literally one generation in.
I'm an immigrant.
To actually go out and try to gaslight us and think that you're just one of those guys that has been here, you know, since the early 1800s and your family was in the struggle too, you're not.
Not.